What's up, y'all? It's Ty in this video. Today, we're going to be going over and talking about our top 10 budget cards right now in NBA 2K25 MyTEAM. Now, what do I consider budget? Everybody's got their different budgets. I would consider budget anything like below 20,000 MT. It gets a little tough because there's some really good cards for like the 30,000 MT, like Khalil Ware, like Hakeem Olajuwon. Some other cards that I really do like, even like a Dyson Daniels, I guess you could maybe consider budget. It really just depends on what you're looking at, but I picked my budget as being like 30,000, or not 30, 20,000 MT, and I'm gonna stick with that. So again, every creator's budget card list might be different, and a lot of it might be just what they personally do consider a budget card. Now, as we do dive into our top 10 today, if you're new to the channel, please smash that subscribe button. I appreciate all of the recent support. At my number 10, I'm plugging in DeAndre Jordan. He is a center that is a budget card that I think can compete at a very high level. Now, why? Well, I think it really starts and ends with the fact that, like, defensively speaking, DeAndre Jordan is so good. 90 speed, 6'11", gets great animations, perfect badge-wise. It just doesn't get much better than him defensively. Like, it genuinely doesn't. Now, why do people not like DeAndre Jordan? Well, I get it. He is an inside big, right? He is not going to be able to knock down shots. I mean, at a consistent level. Occasionally with the 57 3 ball, you'll be able to knock down shots. Probably not going to be super consistent. The DeAndre Jordan base on Clique is fine. You know, I've used it a little bit. It's just not necessarily like game-changing, game-breaking good. It is fine. You can, you know, knock down shots with it. Especially the hot spot from that right slot. You should be able to green occasionally with it. It's just not a release that I'm, you know, the biggest fan of. I don't hate DeAndre Jordan at all. I actually think, you know, for my no money spent, he would have been a perfect card maybe a month or two ago. The problem is there's just better cards that you'll see featured on this budget list here as we do dive further into it. At my number 9, I'm plugging in Michael Cooper. I still absolutely love Michael Cooper. A lot of people have kind of gotten tired of Michael Cooper. They think there's better options in the game, and that's fine. Like, to each is their own. I still think when you talk about budget cards, Michael Cooper is one of your best budget shooting guards in the game. 93 3 ball, 94 speed, defensively off the charts good. Guys, he is 6'7" as well. And so, yeah, I mean, the main thing is going to be him being a 3-and-D player, but he does provide good defensive versatility being 6'7", Brunson, base, Burks, upper on quick, normal drifter, basic dribble style. One thing about Michael Cooper is, yes, his movement with the basic dribble style isn't going to be great. It's not going to be ideal. But I think with everything else that this card does provide for you on the floor, you've got to like Michael Cooper. You've got to. Because if you don't, I just think you're wrong. I think that this card is an absolute beast, an absolute stud on the floor. The problem is I just prefer Doug Christie slightly more. And again, this is totally preference based. I'm just biased for Doug Christie because when I did my gameplay, I absolutely loved the card. 30 base badges, 11 of them on Hall of Fame. I think for Doug Christie, the one thing he's got that other people don't, Pro 2 leaner. Is it as good as, you know, it's been in the past years? Maybe not, but it's still incredibly good and incredibly valuable. Hot spots from everywhere. His base release is good. Defensively is stout. Defensively is solid. There's just not a lot of flaws in Doug Christie, and that's what I want. I want cards that I can use on the floor that are going to be complete cards. Cards that can create their own shot. Cards that defensively can hold it down. Doug Christie can do all those things. He checks all of those boxes, which is why I am a massive, massive fan of him in my team as it stands right now. And again, if you're trying to get off the ground, I think Doug Christie is a perfect guy to add to your specific squad to this day. Again, I am going to have a shooting guard a little bit higher here than Doug Christie. It just comes down to I think there are shooting guards on this game, at least a budget shooting guard that I'll rank higher, that I just think is slightly better on that defensive side of the ball. At my number 6, I'm plugging in, I guess I'm at number 7 here. Okay, I can't skip over my number 7. Diamond Paolo Banchero. You talk about a small forward that you guys can just have on your floor and trust. There's no more better complete one than Paolo Banchero. And at this stage, you can definitely find one that's fully badged. Sure, obviously, if you can find one with a couple of extra Hall of Famers, that's ideal. But even just finding one that's fully badged out with gold badges, super important. 88 3 ball, 90 speed, defensively solid, great player build, has every, or can get every badge in the game. To me, it's bigger than the stats with Paolo Banchero. It's the eye test. I've used this card as much as any other card in the game. I have. Like, I've literally used Paolo so much this year. And every time I use him, I'm just impressed. I think defensively he gets stops. He gets great rebound animations. He plays lanes. There's just, in my opinion, no flaws with Banchero. I think this card is so good, so complete. The only flaw you can say is his release is a little slow. And I get it. For the era we are in my team, I would honestly agree with that. Like, he doesn't have his release on quick. It is a little bit slow. It's a little bit methodical. But in my opinion, it's good enough that I don't really care. You know, I green consistently with it. And I think that's as important as anything as far as a release. Can you consistently green with his release? I consistently green with Paolo Banchero, which is one of the main reasons that I really like this card. But I think the main thing for me is his player model player build is just fantastic. 6'10", plays lanes. It's tough for me not to absolutely love P5. At my number 6, here he is, Matt Barnes, Pink Diamond. I have problems with Matt Barnes. I don't think that this card is as good as some people hype him up to be. I do think the card's good, but I think here's my problem with Matt Barnes. The speed rating. 88 speed at that shooting guard position. At this stage of the game, I just wish it was a little bit higher. And you guys can be like, Ty, you're just complaining to complain. I get where you guys are coming from. But the two most important stats in the game are speed and 3-ball. His 3-ball is fine at a 93. His speed at an 88 at this stage is too low for my liking. Defensively, obviously, the card's good. His catch and shoot release is going to be immaculate. It's going to be incredible. But I needed that speed rating to be a little bit higher. It's not, and so I can't go any higher than this with Matt Barnes. I just simply can't. And again, if you want to go higher with Matt Barnes, by all means, do it. This is my list, though, and for me, this is as high as I can go with the card. It is, and again, you want to go further. He's got the pro dribble style. Movement-wise for Matt Barnes isn't going to be ideal either. I do think the card is great. I just think that there are certain people in the community that are gassing this card too much, and I want you guys to be honest. Again, I think there are shooting guards that I'm going to have higher that I like more than Matt Barnes, because when it comes down to it, that speed being at an 88 at this stage is troll for my liking. At my number 5, plugging in Pink Diamond Alex Sarr. A card who, on my no money spent, I've got to find a way to get him back in the rotation, maybe at my backup center position, something like that. It's just tough for me with Alex Sarr, because I think it starts with his release. His release, it's fine, but it is somewhat slow, it is somewhat methodical, it is somewhat baited. And so I don't hate the release of Alex Sarr, but I want you guys to know if you get the card, his release is somewhat slow. 87 3-ball is fine, 83 speed. Would like that to be a little bit higher, but for a center, it's okay. Defensively is fine. Big thing for me is he is 7'1", though. You know, 7'1", decently large player, model player build. And for me, I think that's really where I'm at with Alex Sarr. I have overall, I would say, liked the card when I've used him. Do I think he's a perfect card in this game, though? No. Would like to see that 3-ball just slightly higher. If you are asking me where I'm at with him, I mean, I am at my number 5 as far as budget cards are concerned. At my number 4 is Pink Diamond Ron Artest. I've used all these budget shooting guards, and no, Artest doesn't play for my no money spend anymore because I've got cards I like more. But I think side by side, he's better than Matt Barnes. He's better defensively. He's got higher speed. He's got a great player build. His release still super easy to time, easy to green. His fade is fine as well. I'm telling you right now, I'm taking Ron Artest over Matt Barnes. Now, maybe it's just me being biased because I've used Ron Artest for as long as I've used him, but that's really where I'm at with him, and I get it. Matt Barnes has some updated SIGs, has some updated releases, has that release on quick. I get why people like Matt Barnes more, but I hope you guys can understand why I like Ron Artest more. Simply put, he's going to be a better defender. That 92 speed compared to the 88 speed is kind of a big deal when you're looking at that shooting guard position. And again, it's not like we're talking about centers, right? With Alex Sarr at the center position, sure, his speed rating is somewhat low, but he's a center. Like, yeah, at the center position, yeah, your speed's overall going to be low. If you're an on-ball defender, you need better speed. I like Ron Artest slightly more, coming in at my number 4. At my number 3, I'm plugging in Pink Diamond Stephon Castle. Now, here's the deal with Stephon Castle. People ask me all the time, is Stephon Castle better than Dyson Daniels? I don't think so. And so, like, if you've got the MT to go get the Pink Diamond Dyson, I do think he is slightly better. But Stephon Castle is a beast. 90 speed, 91 speed, 93 ball. Good, decent driving dunk at an 85. defensively stout, solid. There's just not a lot of negatives with the card, you know? Like, and I've said it before in this video, I like cards that are going to be complete, cards that can knock down shots, cards that can play good defense. Stephon Castle checks all my boxes, you know, as just a card that can do it all on the floor. Plays defense, dunks the ball, can knock down shots, 6'7", can guard guys like Magic Johnson, can guard, you know, everybody not named Wemby on the switch. Sure, you wish his release was sped up a little bit, but I think Stephon Castle, one of the most complete budget cards in the game right now. At my number 2, I am plugging in Diamond Jaren Jackson Jr. Now, Jaren's a weird card, right? Because obviously, again, we've got all of these good big men budget-wise at this stage, but give me Jaren above the rest. Why? His shot is easy to time, easy to green. He's got a good 3-ball. He's got good speed. Yeah, he's 6'10", but I feel like every time I play with Jaren, he feels taller than that defensively elite. Comes with, if you badge him up, you're going to be able to get every badge in the game. I like my old cards, whether it's Paolo, whether it's Ron Artest, whether it's Jaren Jackson Jr. I like these older cards as much as some of the newer ones. I think new SIGs can be great. Obviously, if they're sped up, that's fantastic. But like Jaren's release, for example, it's fine on normal. Like, obviously, it's better on quick, but it's fine on normal. It's a release you're going to consistently green with, and he checks all of my boxes that I want out of a power forward in this game. And if you are looking to start your budget squad, I think starting with Jaren Jackson Jr. would just be a great option. And again, am I gassing Jaren? Absolutely. But I've used this card a lot this year, and I absolutely love him. Coming in at my number 1, the best budget card in the game right now, I think, is Pink Diamond Zach LaVine. Now, if you get the Aaron Gordon duo, it makes him better. But even without the Aaron Gordon duo, why do I like LaVine so much? He plays better than his defensive stats suggest. I've used Zach LaVine about as much as any budget card that is going to be featured in this video. And I think, why does he play above his stats? I think it's because of that 95 speed. I've said it so many times in this video, and I want you guys to know it's true. Speed is the most important stat on the game. And so if somebody has a good speed rating, they're probably going to be pretty high on my list. Zach LaVine does, knocks down shots. LaVine on quick is nice. 92 3-ball is nice, plays defense. There's just not a ton of negative things I can say about Zach LaVine. He is a card I've used a lot of this year. I just, honestly, a couple of weeks ago, replaced him on my main account. That's how much I love the Pink Diamond Zach LaVine. Is there a big difference between him and the Galaxy Opal? No. It's very, very, very minor. And so if you are looking for a budget point guard right now, the guy I recommend for his value the most is the Pink Diamond Zach LaVine. That is going to wrap it up for our top 10 budget players in the game right now. You guys need to let me know your thoughts. Am I gassing Zach LaVine? Am I gassing Ron Artest at this stage? Let me know. Also, again, cards I do like that are just over that mark, like a Dyson Daniels. He's obviously, quite a bit more expensive, but Pink Diamond Hakeem is really good. Pink Diamond Khalil Ware is good, but those cards are just slightly more expensive than what I would consider a budget option. That's going to wrap it up. Drop a like on the video, guys. Subscribe if you are new, and as always, man, I love you guys. Have a blessed day.